everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa, and today we are going to be making a no-sew cushion. So simple, so easy, and you can use whatever yarn you like. All you need to do is make your base chain, line it up to the cushion that you're going to be making it for, and work from there. It is that simple. You can use any yarn you like. I am going to be using this. It is the last ball I've got of this. I did not know what to do with it, so I thought, cushion. So this is Yarn Inspirations Caron Cakes. This colour is Vanilla Bean, one of my favourites. So the amount of yarn you will need are about a ball of this for the small size cushion. So this one is 200 grams, 350 meters. So this will make the small size cushion, and then go to a second ball for the size up, and so on and so forth. The cushion I will line it up with is just your standard polyester cushion insert. This is the 35 centimeter one, which is the smallest one, and then I believe it goes up to 45 centimeters and 55 centimeters. Don't quote me, I'm not sure what the sizes are as they go up. I do know this one because it's already in their package, and this is what I have. So you will need your cushion, your yarn, and you will also need maybe a tape measure if you really want to measure it, but I don't use this. I literally do my chain and measure it to my cushion. You will also need a pair of scissors, simply just to cut the end of the yarn, and then your yarn needle, wherever I put it, to literally sew in two ends, and the size of, oh, there's my yarn needle, it's hiding. And then you will need your hook size. For this, it does say 4mm hook. I always use a 5 for this. I'm going to go up a hook size, half a size, because I find that the way I'm working this, I need to go a half size when I'm working in the round. So I'm using my 5.5mm hook, but I always do my base chain a hook size higher, so I'm going to be using my 6.5mm hook to go and do my base chain. Alright, well, let's get this project started. When you have selected your yarn and you've got the matching needle hook to go with it, find the end, and you don't need a long tail, and just do a slip knot. Grab your larger hook for the chain, slip it on your hook, and then chain however many chains will go across your cushion really snugly. So you want to make sure that it's going from this side to this side and be snug. Now normally I do for this one around about 33 stitches. So I will start with that and see how it looks. Okay, so there's my chain. Let's see how it goes on my cushion. And going one end to the other. I think it might be one stitch. I go both ways and double check. Yeah, I might go 32. Now, I do have notes that I make for all projects. I can't read or write patterns, so what I do is I make some notes. I'm happy to share them with you, so they'll be in the description below if you can understand them. And yeah, so have a look at those for the different hook sizes and size of cushion that I do. But I'm going to stick, I think, with the 32 stitches. So do that, measure it, and you want it to be snug, okay? Because you want your cushion to feel nice and snug in the cushion cover and not flop around and potentially maybe fall out. Okay, so once you've done that, what you then need to do, change your hook size to your lower hook size. So mine is the 5.5. And we're now going to be working on the flap, the one that tucks inside the cushion cover to keep the cushion cover into place. So you can see on this one I made earlier, there's the flap. And so that will now tuck in to the cushion, like so. Worked out your chain, we're going to be working half double crochets, and what you need to do is chain 1, and we're going to be working not into these V's here, we're going to turn it around and work it in the lumps that are on the back. So not the front V's, but turn it over and you'll see those lumps on the back there. So yarn over, miss that first stitch that you just chained and go to the next one and put your hook into that lump there. Grab your yarn, pull it through, and then grab your yarn and pull through the 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next lump there, grab your yarn, pull it through, and grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, into that lump there, grab your yarn, pull it through, and grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now keep doing that for the rest of your stitches that are on your chain. Okay, so we have finished row 1, and what I would do at this stage is just double check that it still is fitting snugly around your cushion cover. Around your cushion. And I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to continue on. I think that's a good size. And so now what we need to do for the next row is chain 1, turn your work, and then you are going to continue half double crocheting. So yarn over, go into that very first stitch there, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on the hook, and keep doing your stitches right in the top of that stitch there, all the way along. And this is row number 2. Coming to the end of the second row, and in the last stitch, go straight in there, chain 1, turn your work, and continue on. So you want to do 18 rows for this flap. You want it nice and long, and the reason why is you want it to stay tucked in, and if you do a short one it's just going to wedge its way out. So make sure you do a nice long flap, and I do 18 rows. Alright, so once you've done your 18 rows, I will meet you back here and show you what to do next. We have now finished our rows of our flap, and now we're going to work on the body of the cushion. So whatever number of stitches you did along here, so for me it was 32, we now need to chain 32, or the number that you did for along here. So just continuing on from where you finished, we're going to chain that corresponding the same amount of stitches that you did along there, and as I said, I did 32, so I'm going to be chaining 32. So here's my chain of 32, the same amount of stitches as I had corresponding there. Now what we're going to do is make sure your chain stays straight, flipping this over. My chain is not turning, it's still straight, and we're going to join the chain to the first stitch on the other side of this flap. So put your hook straight and make sure your yarn's behind, and putting your hook straight into this stitch here. Grab your yarn and pull it through, and we're doing a slip stitch, so we're pulling it through the loop on the hook. Okay, then yarn over and put your hook straight into that same stitch there, and we're doing a half double crochet, and then we just continue half double crocheting all the way around, but this time we want to do our half double crochets into the body of the stitch. So you can see that there is a hole there, but we want to do it into the body here. Okay, so yarn over straight into the body of the stitch there. Yarn over and then straight into the body and do your half double crochet. And keep doing that all the way along till you get to the end of this row and back to your chain. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the row of this, the flap part, and coming up to the chain. So you want to do the chain the same way you started this, by doing the stitches into the back of the chain, so into these lumps, the loops on the back, not the V at the front. Now this can be a bit tricky because sometimes it's really hard to see where the first stitch is, so you're wanting the loop on the back. Sorry that it's gone on to the dark and it might be a little bit difficult to see, but it's exactly the same way you started the project off, doing the stitches into the loop on the back. So just, if you're getting lost, just keep turning it back and forth to make sure you've got it in the right spot. And then keep going with your stitches until you get to the end of the chain. And I'll meet you at the end of the chain when you get there. Okay, so when you have finished doing your stitches in your chain, it should look something like that, and you should have that really nice look at the bottom of the chain there. At this stage, I'd also double check that you've got the correct amount of stitches. So 32 stitches here, 32 stitches there. Therefore, I should have 64 stitches, and I do. Also, at this stage, I would grab the cushion and just double check that it's a nice snug fit around your cushion and that you're happy with that and it's not too tight or too loose. And I'm very happy with that. That's how I want it. I want it nice and snug. All right, so now all we're doing is continually doing our stitches, going around and around and around and around and around until we've done 35 rows. So this is row number 1, and I start my count here. So where the chain is meeting is where is row number 1. So all we need to do now is just continue doing our stitches around and around. So for this next stitch, because you've just finished at the end of the chain, yarn over and go straight into the first stitch on the flap there. Just go straight in there and then continue doing your stitches all the way around and keep going around and around, and there's no step ups, you just keep going around and around and around. Now it's going to have a look that's very different here to here. That doesn't matter because here you're not going to see it. It's going to be tucked into your cushion, and here it's going to have that nice flat look. So I'm going to be doing 35 rows or thereabouts. I will keep checking by putting this into the cushion into this and seeing that my 35 rows is right, or do I need less or more, because each yarn is different. So keep checking, keep testing. And when you feel that you're happy that this is a nice snug fit and that the flap is going really nice far in, and you've got a really nice, you want when the flap goes in, so let's say the flap's in there, you want that edge to be all you see. So that's all you want to see. So keep doing your rows, going around and around and around. I'm going to do 35 rows or thereabouts, and I will meet you back here and confirm with you how many rows I have done. And then I'll show you how we finish off. I have done my 35 rows and I have put the cover over the cushion. And you can see I have put the flap in there, and I've snuck it in quite tightly there. Bring it up. So there we go, there's the line, and I've just double checked that it's all the way down and it's going to fit nicely. And so the last thing we need to do is just to sew up the bottom. Now we're not going to sew up the bottom, we're going to crochet it because this is a no sew cushion cover. So let's do that next. So let's take the cushion out of the cover you've just made and let's turn this inside out. Alright, now where you have finished your last stitch, and by the way your last stitch should be level with where your first row started, so just fold it in half and work your way up and you should find that's where your last stitch should be. So again, go to where you started, fold it in half, work your way up, and that's where your last stitch should be. So getting your hook, place your hook in there. Now it's already folded in half, and what you are aiming to do is folding it in half, we are going to slip stitch the stitches together. So go into that first, here's already one side, and then we want to go to the other side. So you can see there is one side there, there's the other side. So we've already got that on our hook, so we're going to go straight into the other side. Now where you're going is this side facing you of the stitch, not the back. If you do the back of the stitch on both sides, you will have it have a ridge and it won't be flat and clean. So go to the front of the stitch here, go in there, grab a yarn, pull it through, and pull through the loop already on your hook. Okay, so that's the first one to start you off. Now the second stitch, go to the second stitch along, and go this side of the stitch, not the outer side. So you're doing the insides of the stitch. So go into there, go into the corresponding side on the other side, the inside, not the outside, so this side. Go in there, grab your yarn and pull through all the loops on your hook. So again, going to the next stitch, we're going on the inside of the stitch, so you're going into the inside as if you're inside your cushion cover. Corresponding side, the inside of the stitch there. Grab your yarn and pull through all the loops on the hook. And keep repeating this all the way along till you get to the end of the bottom of your cushion cover. And when you get over here, I'll show you how we finish off. So just work your slip stitches all the way along. Last couple of stitches, and depending on how you finish off, alright, so I am going to grab my scissors, snip off the end, and then I'm going to pull that through and then sew in all my ends. Simply just sew your ends in however you sew your ends in. There's no hard or fast rule on how you do this, just make it nice and neat. Once you've done that, turn your cushion cover the right way around, place your cushion into it, and you should be done. And there we are, cushion all done. So you can see we've got the flap in there and nicely sewn up bottom there. Can you see how neat that is when you crochet the two together? So much neater than sewing. Well, my sewing anyway. My sewing is really bad. And nice and snug. Alright guys, well thank you so much for following along in this tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed making your cushion cover. I do have another couple of cushion covers if you're interested in, so check out these links, and I'll leave the link also below. Thank you so much everybody, and I hope to see you at another one of my tutorials. Alright, bye everyone!